The main thing that changed was me. And when I tell you, everything and everybody around me started changing and shifting, I didn't have to do nothing. Hey y'all, what's up and welcome back to my channel. I talk about a lot over here, so expect a lot of different content from me. Like, my life was in a very bad place for a very long time in my life, so I talk about a lot of different things on my channel, and I'm going to continue to talk about even more things by y'all. There's no way I can just stick to one topic, so I'm talking about it all, and I'm happy to have you here. For my ones that's been here, what's up? For my new subscribers, hey y'all, like, I'm so happy for y'all to be here. Y'all know that I've been in the mud doing this work and sharing some of those experiences and what I've been learning with y'all. And I'm at a place where I truly am starting to be able to make sense of things. Everything makes so much more sense now, and most of the things in my life don't feel as hard as they used to. I was at a place where a soft life felt absolutely impossible. I didn't know how to sit down. I didn't know how to control my emotions, whether it be sadness or anger. I felt like every single section of my relationships were a mess, like my friendships, my family relationships, my intimate relationships. And, I was at that place where I just felt like no part of my life was going well. And though I'm still climbing, and though I'm still walking up those steps, I feel so much lighter, so much better. It's crazy just how once you bring God into it and you really sit down and stop thinking you know everything and figure everything out, is when things start making so much sense. Like, the past 8 months of my life have been absolutely transformational. It could really have me thinking like, girl, why didn't you do this sooner? But it's all a part of the journey, and sometimes, people don't see. We don't always see everything, and you don't know what you don't know. And I was just saying this to somebody the other day, one of my friends, but I really feel like we at a place right now, especially if you over here and you in your late 20s, you in your 30s, your 40s, like, we're at a place in a day and age where saying I don't know or I didn't know is really unacceptable. There's so many resources out here. We have so many individuals that are going through similar things or already have that we can talk to. There are so many books that have always been out there that are currently being written. People are putting out book reviews and all type of things like that. The information is so abundant and it's so very available that there's really no reason for people to be saying, oh, I didn't know that. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not judging anybody or anything like that, but I just know I want to be proactive and not reactive. And that's something that I realized that's what type of person I had been. I was constantly reacting to things in my life. It's even when I was trying to go after something and make something happen when it didn't go the way I wanted to, I was still constantly reacting and not getting in front of the situation. And it's so much better when you put yourself in a place where you start learning about things so that you can put your best foot forward, so you don't have to always worry about getting stepped on or get stepped over. Like, personally, I am a woman and I want to know about the woman anatomy and the phases that we go through in life. So, for example, menopause is one of those things that I will be learning more about. I'm nowhere near menopause, but it's something that's going to happen in my life. So I figure, why not learn about it instead of getting to that point in life and being like, oh, I didn't know about this. I had no idea this is what it was like. Because a lot of times we just hear stuff through the grapevine. You hear stuff through the grapevine about pregnancy, marriage, getting a certain role in a career, building a business, and we just collect all these little pieces of information, and then we use that as, okay, I have a good solid foundation of information, of knowledge. And then once we get into that place or start walking down that pathway, we like, whoa. Like, this is a hot mess, and I didn't know what I was signing up for or what I got myself into. What am I doing? And that's not the way to go. It made sense for things to go like that back in the day because we weighed so heavily on the opinions of others, especially our elders, and we had information passed down, or it was more normal to learn along the way. I heard Cole Sprouse. I used to love him growing up. I still love him now in his shows and movies that he be doing. But Cole Sprouse, he said, we trade trauma for wisdom. And when I heard him say that, I was like, "Ooh, that cut deep." Because a lot of times we do trade trauma for wisdom, and we definitely get to a place where we are able to not necessarily glamorize the trauma, but embrace the trauma and knowing that it got us where we are today. I do think it's very important for us to be able to do that, but I realize that it doesn't always have to be that way. Everything doesn't always have to be so hard. Like some things do have to be hard because you have to grow and God is trying to bring you from where you at to where he wants and needs you to be. So some things will be difficult, but everything doesn't always have to be so traumatizing. And I know for me, I really thought that when I was going through, I was going through with work, with my children, their dad, my mom, like everything. Oh my gosh, everything was falling apart. Like my whole entire life, I'm not even being dramatic, was falling apart. And what got me through so many of those times was telling myself, you know what, Gabby, this is just part of the journey. This is part of the journey. I like to think of my life as a book. And I just think, this is the part of the book where things are just getting crazy and your redemption time is coming. This part of the story is going to be really good. You just got to stay faithful and you just got to keep pushing through. And honestly, that has gotten me through so many hard times in my life, just knowing that this is a part of the story and I'm going to get past it. And some things in life that is the case, but one day, man, I heard this message from this pastor and he was saying, think about it. Do you really think God wants you to go through all that mess? Do you really think he wants you to be heartbroken, laying on your side, bawling your eyes out, crying out to him because you don't know what in the world to do next because you're living in confusion? That's not what he said verbatim. It was something like that. And it's like something just snapped at me and I'm like, oh my goodness, no, God does not want that for me. And in that moment, I started really thinking about my life, breaking it down, realizing that every decision that I did or did not make, everything that I did or did not allow from other people is slowly what got me to where I was at that point. And I was devastated. Okay? Because the whole time I was telling myself,
this is just what you gotta go through. It's only a part of the story.
Thinking that life is just going to do what it does and then I have to do what I do. But when I realized, Gabby, no, your life is like this because you got it here. I really fell into a mini spiral of depression because I'm like, if I caused this, what in the world am I supposed to do to get out of it? Like this, I was thinking that none of these things are my fault. So now that I know they are based on my decisions and my actions, girl, how can I just sit here and not make things worse, And ever since I realized that, I'm able to be more proactive. And now I know that I don't have to go through traumatizing events to gain wisdom. If I just spend time with God, if I just talk to him and really dig deep into these books and into my background and be honest and transparent, then the wisdom will be given to me. The Bible says that God will give you wisdom freely and liberally if you just ask. And it may not come right when you ask, but eventually it will come. And I'm in a place now, like I was saying earlier, where so many things just make so much more sense now. And the things that I do still struggle with, I know what I'm supposed to do. Like I know when I'm doing something wrong and I feel conviction and I know how to move forward and make it right. And it feels so good to be in this place now. Honestly, YouTube still feels like a struggle for me. There's a lot of spiritual warfare there because YouTube, the whole YouTube world will tell you, you need to do this, you need to do that, make that type of content and blah, 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 blah. And there is a business side of it that you have to keep up with. But if it doesn't align with something that I feel emotionally, mentally, and spiritually, then I don't want to do it. So it's just like, Gabby, are you holding yourself back because you're not keeping up with the trends and everything else that's going on? Or are you doing right by sticking to your spirit and doing what you believe in your heart is the right thing to do? It's like a constant battle, and then sometimes you feel like you gotta feed what people want to see. And I don't want to become one of those people who just seems to be chasing the cloud, chasing the views, chasing the money or anything like that. I always want to show up and be myself and be authentic. I always want to be in control of what I can be in control of, and not allow these platforms or these people or these businesses to control me. Never that. So that space of my life, I would say, is the one that I'm still running into confusion about from time to time. But overall, it's like, man, it feels so good when you start seeing all the work that you've done just come together, you know? It's so much easier to say no. It's so much easier to do things that I don't really want to do, but I need to do because I'm more disciplined. It's so much easier to manage my emotions. Oh my gosh, my sadness and my anger was just, it was a hot mess, y'all. It's just so much easier to make healthier decisions when I eat. It's so much easier to love the situation that I'm in, even if it's not exactly what I want it to be. I used to have such a hard time with being happy in my current situation, and that has been the journey in learning how to do that. I used to think that I needed something outside of me. I needed something to be added to my life in order for me to be better and feel better. And I still am trying to get the last few remnants of that out of my mind. But that's totally not the case, y'all. I did a fast last summer, and when I tell y'all that fast, oh my God, it was the first fast I ever did in my life, and it changed everything. Everything. I couldn't believe how close I felt to God. I couldn't believe that I was able to do that. I was always afraid to do a fast because I didn't want to disappoint the Lord. And I did that thing, y'all. Like, if y'all want to hear more about that, just let me know in the comments. But once I did that, I'm telling you, everything in my mind, body, and spirit changed. I started seeing things totally different. And that's really when I started buckling down on God. And that's really when I started buckling down on me. I always been a person that cared for people, loved people, wanted to be there for people. But I never did any of that stuff for myself, okay? I always put myself totally, absolutely last in every single category. And then I would get mad. That's why I don't believe in being nice anymore. Like, when you think about it, when people are nice, they're doing something that they don't really want to do. Like how people say, oh, I was just doing that to be nice. I'm just trying to be nice. Like, when you're nice, it's really fake and you have to perform. But it's really about doing stuff out of kindness. Like, when you do stuff from the kindness of your heart, that's how you know when you want to do it, and also when you're doing something that would benefit the other person or people as well. I stopped being this person who put myself in a place like I didn't matter, and my whole world changed around me. You know, when they was putting those videos out when people were like, I made myself the main character. Y'all, I literally made myself the main character and became so grateful and happy and rooted in the fact that God was my author. And when I tell y'all, literally, the situation that I'm in, the situations that I have been enduring for the past 2 years really haven't changed that much. They have not changed that much. The main thing that changed was me. And when I tell you, everything and everybody around me started changing and shifting, either they're not in my life anymore, or we don't talk like that anymore, or they're becoming everything that I always believed that they could be, or that they wanted to be, or that I'm not stressing about a certain thing anymore, or that a certain thing isn't as hard anymore, and I'm able to view certain things differently. I'm telling you, everything around me changed. I didn't have to do nothing. That's the crazy part, y'all. I didn't have to do anything. 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 And now so many things just feel so easy. And it's been so many videos where I have uploaded and I was just like, this is cringe. Like, this is so embarrassing. Like, it's so many videos where I look back and I'll be like, ew, Gabby, why did you post that? Because I sound a mess, In some videos, I feel like I look a mess. Like, you could just tell I was in emotional, spiritual, and mental turmoil in so many of those videos. But I'm like, I'm so glad. I'm so glad that I had the boldness and I had the courage to put myself out there like that, because my channel is literally a journey. And I love that I can see how far I've come, that I can see how far I've grown, and that my work and that everything I've done with God is really, it's done something to me. And when you do the work that you're supposed to do, it doesn't only benefit you, it benefits everybody around you. And if you don't take anything else from this, just understand that all your work, all the time you spend with God, all the things that you do in secret, are you sowing? You're sowing. And the Bible says that you will reap bountifully if you sow bountifully. If you sow sparingly, you will reap sparingly. So if you are out here sowing, if you are over there sowing, you are going to reap what you sow. I'm not where I want to be right now, but I've come so far. I can't even complain. I can't feel anything but pure happiness and joy and thankfulness for where I am right now, because God. And I know with everything in my heart that everything is going to continue to come together. And when my time comes for whatever God has for me, that time is going to be here. I have to come with y'all to y'all with transparency and be honest with y'all. There are things that I want to talk about, but I'm still in the middle of these things right now with God. So when the time comes for me to share these stories, because they're very personal, but I know there's other people out there that have gone through many of the things that I've gone through, because I used to be at this point in my life where I felt life was so hard, because I felt like I was the only human in earth going through these things and nobody could relate. But after reading, watching videos, reading all through the comments, because baby, I be all in them comments, I really had to sit back and be like, Gabby, who did you thought you was? Because there are so many people experiencing the same exact issues as you. Now, I do realize and believe that my story from beginning to now is completely unique. I do think my story is completely unique, but there's lots of pieces of my story that I know other people can relate to. And the thing is, people just don't talk about them because they're very embarrassing. And, so many people on the internet be having so much negativity to spread and try to subject you to. But I don't care about that. Like, I really don't care what a stranger got to say about me. And when I first started YouTube, just somebody disliking my video will almost have me about to cry. And that's just growth, y'all. Every little thing is growth. You are going to reap what you sow. You are going to see things come together. Things are going to start making so much sense. They're going to be so much easier to you. And let me be a testimony. Let me be a testimony to that. It's true. It's facts. You're going to make it through. You're going to come up out of that mud. I'm telling you, I'm at a place now where I realize the depth and the multitude of the trauma I've experienced in my life. And I do want to continue to uncover that so I can know myself better and continue to heal. But sometimes, man, it was a couple weeks ago, I was like, man, forget all that. Like, I really got tired of even thinking about all my trauma, because it's like I'm at a place where I want to uncover it. I want to see it and process it and just move on with my life. It's one thing when you uncover trauma, but so many of us, we uncover it and then we get stuck there because our minds are so blown, and we just realize how much it affected us and how it has such a huge part in where we are today. I was there for long enough, and I'm just ready to okay, I got the message, next, because I'm trying to get somewhere in life, and holding on to that stuff and constantly replaying it in my head is not going to do me any good. So yeah, y'all hang in there. That's it for today, y'all. I love y'all so much, and until the next one, and peace and love, I'm out.